Understanding and bettering and trying to master this skill will open so many doors for you in your life. If you do not master this one skill, you will be left behind. And that one skill is communication, learning the art of persuasion, learning how to communicate your ideas in a way that other people can actually agree with it. Because not only can you make a lot of money in sales if you learn how to be a good, effective communicator and you learn how to persuade, but you can also, let's just say you have a job and you want a higher position at your job. You can communicate yourself and present yourself in a way that shows the people who are higher up above you that you are someone who is competent and they can actually trust simply just off the way that you communicate it. Because you can communicate the same thing two different ways and you'll completely miss the opportunity. For example, some of you guys could have that woman that you want, but you fail to communicate how you fail to present yourself in a way that shows her the value in you. That's what sales is. That's what persuasion is. Getting someone to see the value in something that you find valuable and getting them to see the same thing, because it's not always about just outside appearance. It's also about how you communicate something. If you're trying to sell something to someone, let's just say I'm trying to sell someone this pen right here. They can both, me and that person, see the same exact pen, but I can see more value in this pen than they do. But if they don't see the value, then they're not going to buy this pen, even though it's the same exact pen. But if I communicate it in a way that now they see why they need the pen, and I touch in on that why, and I persuade them on the why they need this pen, they will end up seeing the value and they will purchase this pen because of the why, because of they see the value in it. So some of you guys want that woman, but you don't know how to communicate and present yourself in a way to where they're like, okay, this guy is obviously the type of guy who I want to be with. Or in business, this is the type of guy who I want to do business with, especially in sales. When you're in sales, you can, let me just show you this scenario, right? Which this happens a lot to those guys who are in sales. You guys will understand. But if you are trying to sell someone and you're talking to the husband, and then he's not the decision maker, the wife is. Even though you sold him enough to go talk to his wife about it, because if you wouldn't have sold him on the idea, if you wouldn't have persuaded and you wouldn't have communicated in a way that was genuinely for him to see the value in it. For example, let's use the pen again. If I'm trying to sell him this pen and I don't know that he's not the decision maker, I try to sell him this pen. If I tell him, hey man, you want this pen? He's going to say, no, I'm okay. But the fact that I was able to communicate it in a way to where he saw the value in it and he said, let me go bring this information to the decision maker. Let me go to my wife because she wears the pants and obviously I don't wear the pants. So she has to make all the decisions. Let me go to her and let me explain it to her. What is it? Anyone who's in sales, you can answer this in the comments right now. I'll go ahead and tell you. Every single time, 99.9% of the time, they will say this. Okay, let me go talk to my wife about it. After you've sold them on the idea, after you've persuaded them, after you've gotten them to see the value in this pen, they will go to their wife. Hey, babe. Hey, no. Let me put the right voice, right? Because if the wife is the one wearing the pants, hey, baby. Excuse me, baby. What? What the fuck do you want, babe? There's this guy, and he wants to sell us this pen. No, I don't want the fucking pen, motherfucker. Go back in your fucking cage, bitch. Yo, what do you think's gonna happen? She's gonna say no. It's not because of the pen, because he saw the value in it. It's because she didn't see the value in it. But why? It's the same pen. He saw the value. She didn't. How did he see the value? I communicated in a way to where he saw the value, but he did not communicate it in a way to where she saw the value. So if you're in sales, this is a pro tip, even though this video is about communication, always make sure that the decision maker is there, because every single time you try to sell someone on the idea and they go tell their wife, the decision maker, the one who wears the pants, guess what? They're not going to buy 99.9 times out of every single time, because it's not that you did a bad job, it's that they don't know how to communicate it in a way to where they see the value. Hey, this guy has a pen for sale. No, we're good. We already have pens. We don't need that. Oh, okay. She said no. Every time. Every time, okay? It's very rare that someone will say, okay, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I know we have 99,000 pens in the house, but let's just go ahead and buy that one. No, you didn't explain why she needs this pen, this pink pen. This pen is something that you need, and you will tap in on that why. For years, she was trying to write books, and she couldn't think of the right idea. She was trying to sell books, and she was failing over and over and over. Every time she wrote a book, she was using a black pen, and she was failing every single time. She wrote a book, published it, edited it, and it failed. Posted a book, published it, failed. Listen, I use this pink pen, and I became a bestseller. As you can see right here, what is this book? Pink. Why do you think it's pink? Because I used the pink fucking pen. And this book right here, what does that say right there? National bestseller. Why do you think? Because I used the pink pen. Okay? And so when you learn how to communicate something, you can get that woman that you want, simply because you can walk up to her and you can communicate that you are a confident man. See, that's the problem. A lot of guys, they don't communicate that they are a confident man. They communicate that they are a shy man because they haven't mastered the skill of communication. So even though you're trying to sell the same product, which is you're fucking it up. Why? Because you're communicating it in a way, because you haven't mastered the skill, you're communicating in a way that says, he's shy. I don't see the value in him. As opposed to you walking up to her, knowing how to communicate, knowing how to persuade her, knowing how to talk to her the right way. She's going to say, this guy just communicated to me that he's confident, and I see the value in that. And this is the thing. A lot of people think that this is what novices do. This is what amateurs do. People who just get into sales, they think that you have to lie, and that's what gives salesmen a bad rep. They give people who are true masters at sales a bad rep. That's why people hate salesmen, because the novices think that you have to lie. But in reality, the only reason why you're lying is because you're not a good communicator. If you feel like you have to lie to a woman about yourself to make yourself be more appealing, to make her see the value in you, it's because you don't know how to communicate it effectively. If you knew how to communicate it effectively, if you understood your product, guess what? You can communicate it as plain and simple by simply just telling the truth, but you know how to put it in a way to where they see the value in it. And guess what? That in long term business will always benefit you, because all that lying, whether it's business, whether it's with women, whether it's with friends, whatever the case may be, it will never be long term. You'll only see short term success. And then as soon as people start finding out that you're a liar and you're just trying to deceive everyone, bad rep, that's it. What did the 48 laws of power say? Guard your reputation. So if your reputation starts getting out that you are a liar, you are using these cheap tactics, guess what? Business is over for you. But if you are someone who learns how to master communication, you learn how to master persuasion, then it'll be long term, because not only will you get people to see the value in what you have, but they will also spread the word. Guess what? Let's just say you have the Long Johnston, you have the Long Johnson disease like myself. If you have the Long Johnson disease and you communicate that to a woman, once she finds out that it's true, she's going to communicate it to her friends, and her friends are going to communicate it to her friends. But when you are a liar and you say you have the Long Johnson disease, right, to try to communicate this to a woman and get her to see the value in you, and then she finds out you have the millimeter Peter disease, she's going to say, what the fuck are we going to do with this? And the word is going to spread. And her friend is going to know that you have a millimeter Peter. And her friend is going to tell her friend. And the whole world is going to know. And then eventually, no girl's going to want to fuck with you. but you thought that you could lie about it. You thought that lying about it was going to be the answer, the cure all to all your problems. Well, it's not, okay? So for those of you who want to know, how do you master communication? You master communication by studying yourself, not simply speaking, because you can speak forever. All of us, everyone who's watching this video has spoken all their life unless you're a mute. If you're a mute, then comment it down below, okay? Because you probably can't speak it. But if if you can speak, then guess what? You've been speaking your whole life, haven't you? But you don't know how to communicate properly. Communication is a skill. It's the same thing with listening. People think that they're good listeners, but really they're just hearing shit. They're hearing shit all day. You could be right next to me, right? See, this is what people need to understand is all these things that you have the base. You have the base of listening, you have the base of speaking, and you think, well, I know how to do it. So no, you need to learn how to communicate and you need to learn how to listen because you can hear something. You could be right next to me and I could be talking about someone. Hey man, you see that guy over there? The guy with the titties? Yeah. I heard he has the millimeter Peter disease. Yeah, the girl's been talking about it all over the place the whole time you're hearing, right? So you're like, all you hear is whole time you're hearing, but you're not listening. You don't know what I'm saying. You look over at me, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, that guy with the titties over there. And I look over, and you're like, hey, what's up, man? And I'm like, hey, hey, hey. Had you been listening, you would have been like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? You're talking about me? Why? Because your listening skills are sharper. It's the same thing with communication. You can speak all day, but guess what? Your communication is not on point. When I first started this YouTube channel, my communication was pretty shit. It was pretty shit. So I didn't get any views at all. Now I get more views. Why? Because I'm becoming a better communicator. But how have I done that? I've looked back at my videos and I've tried to figure out what I can improve. A lot of you guys can improve your tonality. A lot of you guys can improve the projection of your voice. A lot of you guys can improve the cadence, how slow or how fast you speak. A lot of you guys can control all these things, but you don't know how to. And it's not simply through speaking, it's through studying. Okay. Look back, study the film the same way that basketball players play a game or even fighters and then they rewatch it, they study the film, they break it down. Why? So that they can see what they need to improve on. What are your weaknesses? You will never know what you need to improve on if you don't pinpoint your weaknesses. So if you're a fighter, if you're a basketball player, if you're a soccer player, rewatching the gameplay and seeing, okay, I was doing this good, but this is why I failed right here. And that's honestly the mindset that you should have for life. You go through a bad breakup, ask yourself, okay, well, I was good enough to have a girlfriend, but then it went all to shit. Why did it all go to shit? She cheated on me. Okay, what was it? Oh, I got complacent. Oh, okay, I got out of shape. Oh, okay, okay, I see. All right, let me improve that. That's how you do it, guys. Peace out.